Cool. Awesome. Welcome everyone to Small Talks. And today I think I'm just gonna start with that. We have one more person who's living the Indian dream because last time we had somebody who was a CA, right? So India mein you can only be a CA, doctor, or an engineer. So I think with that sort of starting point, and it's also like we are super happy because we are first time talking to somebody from this profession. We have spoken to various profession, but this was pending. So thanks a lot, Dr. Krunal, for accepting the invite and sort of coming and sharing the story. So I just want to start with the whole idea that how did you like? Can you tell us your story? Like how did this happen? Like was it planned from bachpan? Ki what was the backstory? Matlab?
So, if my family, we are basically my grandfather is was a farmer. He's no more with us, but we have a background of farming, and we are based out of a small city in Gujarat, which is Diodar. It is in north of Gujarat, Banaskantha.
Mhm.
And my father, 45 years ago, he had this vision that he wants to go pick up a city, build his team, get educated, and work. So he chased my grandfather's, traveled to Bombay, settled there, did his business, and he raised all three of us. We are three brothers, and that is how our family background was. But my father was very clear that he wanted all of us to study and to choose something which we can give back to the society. So I guess my brother, Dr. Vishal, he was the first in the seven generation per se, and he was my motivation. Looking at him, I took up medicine, and then my younger one, he followed both of us, and we all took up medicine, became surgeons, and it was never planned. And none of us in the entire family had ever dreamed that all three of us will land up taking medicine and then become surgeons. So this was absolutely not planned. With our background being from farming background, we did not have that great vision. But my father, I guess he had something in his mind that we should all take up medicine and then serve to the society. So that was the beginning. So not at all planned, I would say. No.
I think that's quite inspiring.
Yeah.
We
Yeah, like
hear this.
humble roots and then all three brothers giving back to the society. So, yeah. If you all three of you all became surgeons, right? So that
Yeah.
also means that you all compromised your prime in learning, right? This is one thing which not a lot of people speak about. Like I was speaking to one of my family doctors,
Mm.
and like her daughter's now, I think in 11th standard, and she was deciding whether she wants to go the engineer. Like he said, right? तीन ही तो career है India में जिसके बारे में सोच रहे हैं लोग. So she was confused between whether she wanted to do engineering or she wanted to be a doctor. Her only reason for not trying for doctor was that she's like, I'll have to invest a lot of my life in becoming a doctor first. So I think this not a lot of people talk, right? If you could kind of give the audience a flavor of actually how much time is invested. Like first you kind of do your MBBS, right? Then MD, and it goes on and on as much as you want to study. If you could give that flavor to the audience.
So when I was planning on taking up medicine, I had my mentor and my biology teacher. So I had my upbringing from Bombay. So I guess he's still teaching, if I'm not wrong. He's Dr. Kewd Cholra. He is a doctor himself, and then he decided that he'll teach. He teaches biology, and he's still in Villeparla. I am sure he's still teaching. So I went and I discussed with him, because in 12th standard we have two pathways. One is the mathematics pathway, and the second one is the
Correct.
biology pathway. So you
Yeah.
have to choose, you have to decide and choose at a very early age. You have to like set your priorities right, that this is the way forward. So I went to him and I talked to him that, sir, I'm little more inclined towards biology. Can you guide me, should I take, should I not, what should I do? So we had a very long discussion, and he started with this very very particular line that, Krunal, if you want to take up biology and then you're looking yourself towards becoming a doctor and then so on and so forth, do it only and only if you like it. because this field will need a lot of sacrifice, a lot of your time, a lot of sacrifice on your family level, and you'll be only able to do this if it is your choice. If I tell you, if your family tells you, you might do it, you might start it, but that journey is going to be not so great or less painful. So he told me that think about it and choose that this is your decision, because you'll have to live with it for next 50 years of your life, with your colleagues and your peers, having a life which is very different from what you will have. You'll be spending half of your life in libraries and books. So choose it and then commit yourself to it. It'll be your and only your decision. So with that thought, I sat for 2 days. I just thought about it, that what I want to do and is it something which I want to do. And then it was very clear that yes, I wanted to do. And that was my journey from 12th to MBBS, which is of 4.5 5 years. 1 year we have a compulsory internship rotatory program, then we have an entrance again, and 3 years of residency, again specialization, and then so on and so forth.
I think this whole commitment, right, to one thing for so
Yeah.
long.
Yeah.
I also want to maybe understand, right? So I'm sure it's a hard journey, right? Were there any points where you also felt, yeah, this is getting really hard for me? Maybe I should rethink this. Was there a moment in that journey?
I never thought that I want to rethink. Yeah, there were difficult times. I would say there were struggling, to be honest, wherein it was exhausting. Definitely, yes, it was mentally tiring, and whatever we think, there was a comparison with my other peers who were in different fields. Of course, there was. At the end of the day, I'm a human being. So yes, there were lows, but I never that should I have it done this, or I could have done something else. As a thought, I never had. And the reason was because day one I was very clear in my mind that ये ही करना है, मुझे
Right.
ये ही करना है. So once that thought is clear, you will have ups and downs, you will have your lows, you'll hit a wall at times, but if you are clear in your head, you'll jump out or you'll dig a hole. So I guess that's what I did.
Hmm. Yeah, because I was just curious because in tech, no, people have this thing. अगर एक चीज नहीं मजा आ रहा कुछ और कर लो कुछ और कर लो कुछ और कर लो राइट सो पीपल कीप जंपिंग अराउंड एंड वी आल्सो गेट अपॉर्चुनिटीज दैट वे मतलब कि अच्छा चलो ये भी कर लो वो भी कर लो बट आई थिंक इट्स नॉट द केस इन मेडिसिन कि अच्छा ये भी ट्राई कर लो वो भी ट्राई कर
Yeah,
लो.
because this is vertical, no? And what we are speaking is
Yeah.
horizontal. These are two different planes in itself.
Correct, correct. So medicine per se is I would say a pathway with less bifurcations. So
Yeah.
once you commit your journey to medicine, it is MBBS. Then post MBBS, it will be either you'll do your MS or you'll do your MD. MD is physician. It can be various
Yeah.
specialities, and MS will be surgery, which is again various specialities. So the
Yeah.
bifurcations are restricted. I would say that you cannot hop from one to another. But again, I would say that in medicine, because it is such a demanding field,
Yeah.
and the demands are professional, personal, and on a lot of fronts, that we cannot think of getting our attention diverted. कि ये नहीं अब ये
Hmm.
कर लेते ये नहीं ये. It has to be committed. It is a committed decision. You commit to yourself, you commit to your field, and of course there will be struggles, there will be hardship, but you overcome as and when you face it.
Right. Krishna.
So, Dr. Krunal, there's one more trend which I was discussing with another of couple of doctors. In recent years, say the last 5 6 years, this has become a trend. While doctors are coming, but a lot of them don't want to be GPs anymore. I don't know the science behind it or what's the thought process behind it, but you'll see that a lot of people are choosing other specializations than GP. Have you seen that trend in your ecosystem as well? What's your understanding? Why is that happening?
Yes, that is becoming more than a option. It is becoming a choice, and
Hmm.
the reason is these days everyone is very learned and they are very accessible to
Hmm.
online data and things which they can read. So, for example, if I'm a layman or I'm not in medical field and I have some issues, I have the knowledge in general to look for a specialist that I want
Huh.
to be seen by a specialist. For example, my specialty is joints and arthroscopy. So if, for example, I have an ACL tear, I'm just someone who's working in IT. So I'll directly look for ACL surgeons around me or arthroscopy surgeons around me. So the era is gone wherein you will go and talk to a family doctor and then they will suggest you something. I guess that
Huh.
was 30 years ago. In fact, we had a family doctor, so for
Yeah, we
all
still
three of
do.
us,
Yeah.
yeah, we had, and we have disturbed at night to 2 o'clock also and five
Yeah,
o'clock
yeah,
also.
yeah. And he'd always be available, I was always
Always
surprised as a
available,
kid.
always,
Dr.
always.
Shiman, if you're listening to this, just a big thank you. But I don't know, and I think all of y'all are doing this, right? रात के 2 बजे बात कर रहे हैं, रात के 3 and they're fresh as a kite at 2 in night. Their brain is working at 2 in night. Like 2 बजे तुम्हें कोई उठा दे, मुझे कोई उठा दे. I'm like 5-10 minutes I'll take to kind of get aligned, right? भाई वो आप लोगों का for some reason y'all are just auto aligned in that gear, right? That your response time, if I were to say, is way faster than all of us around. तो लाइक या
So
उसके लिए तो थैंक यू बनता है.
So I'll take this moment, and my family doctor was, I'm not very sure that if he's still practicing, but his name was Dr. J.R. Sheth. He practiced out of Goregaon. So if
Oh,
any of patients or if even if he's listening his son, so a big thank you to him. He has treated us for 25 years, all of us,
yeah,
and never ever made a face or never got grumpy, even if it was midnight
yeah,
or any time. So a huge thanks to our family doctor, Dr. J.R. Seth. I remember him. I remember his face very clearly. So it's a huge thanks to him.
yeah, yeah. So
Yeah,
just now continuing to the same question back, right, Dr. Krunal, if people don't take MD in GP, like say if I have a specialized ailment, I would go to a particular doctor, right? But say if
correct.
you're having day-to-day cough, cold, etc., 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 then you would still need a GP. Now the problem
Correct.
what is happening is because a lot of people are not opting for GP, there are not a good amount of GPs in the ecosystem. So I think eventually that might become a shortage in that space.
Uh, so yes and no to this. If you see, specialty practice needs a proper environment, it needs a proper infrastructure, and it needs some facilities. So if I say that, if you are asking me the role of GPs, yes, we still have a huge role for GPs to play, because when we compare our cities to our peripheries or the parts which are not that developed, their specialty doctors are still not able to reach. So there, the primary caregiver, the first doctor to get in touch with people who are in need, is still GP, and we are very thankful to all of them. So when it comes to city, with people having knowledge, they start searching for people who are specialized in that field, rather than go to a person who will then send you to someone. So rather than having a two loop channel, they directly reach out to a specialist. But GPs still have a very foundational role in healthcare. And I guess in all the peripheral and the rural areas, still GPs are the primary health giver, and they're doing an amazing job, I would say, that they are giving care to people who are in need and who cannot access the specialty services. So
Yeah.
yeah, they still have a big role to play.
Yeah.
Hmm. So,
Jay, I wanted to take one and then you can take the next. So, Dr. Kronal, robotics has done crazy progress in your field, at least, right? There are robotic hands which are now assisting you all with surgery. I wanted to,
Correct.
ask you about that. What is your thought process on it? There's some level of AI already implemented out there, right? How is it
Yeah.
going? How fast is it picking up?
So I expected, actually, Krishna, somebody from our viewer to ask this, because this is the new norm which is happening in medicine, that we have robotics and robotics
Yeah.
assisted surgery.
Yeah.
And so I'm an orthopedic surgeon. I specialize in knee and hips.
Huh.
When it comes to robotics, still the number one field where it has completely changed the dynamics of medicine is GI surgery, wherein
Hmm.
abdomen, it is a big huge area, and there we need additional stable hands which can assist the surgeon to give the same result or the better result. So if you are asking me that if robotic has huge application and medical changing practice, it is GI surgeries first, cancer surgeries are second. Orthopedics, if you see all our joints, it can be our shoulders, it can be hips or knees, they are very small compartments. So and already are all instrumentations right now, even today, if I'm talking 18th of October, or everything is precisely to down to 1 mm. So robotics has a role. It is evolving in orthopedics. Uh, there are no scientific evidence which say there are distinct advantages of robotics in orthopedic surgery as of now. We might evolve and get better, but robotics has huge medical changing practice in other departments, not so much today in orthopedic surgery.
Got it.
Makes
I just
sense.
have attention for this, right? So in at least that case, biomechanics have picked up very well, right, in terms of the like
Yes.
robotic arm, robotic legs. Where are
Yes.
we now as a India? What sort of level have we reached? Because we see all this stuff happening in the West or in China, right, where people have implemented this at scale. If you can also talk about our sort of progress here.
So, India, when it comes to medical practice, when it comes to surgical practice, is a leader across the world.
Okay,
This has been a norm in the past. This had been a norm in present, and this will always be there, because somehow, as Indian surgeons, we have an edge when we compare to Western world. I've had the opportunity to work in the Western world. I've had the opportunity to work in India, and when I compare, I feel that Indian surgeons, they are a lot better when we compare it to our counterparts. In
hmm,
fact, to tell our viewers, surgery per se, the concept of surgery started in India. It was an Indian surgeon back maybe 1,000 years ago who started the concept of surgery. So surgery as such has originated from India. The Shushrut, who was our first surgeon, who's called as the father of surgery. So we have given surgery to the world. India has given surgery to the world. So I would not say that we are lacking behind surgical field. In fact, I would say we are pioneers in surgery, and even
hmm.
in robotics, we have an edge over the world. Rather than following them, we lead them, I would say.
Got it. Because the only reason I was also curious that we have seen so much, let's say, innovation from companies like Boston Dynamics specifically, who is doing so much in the robotics that they also want to extend to healthcare as an application, right? And in China, it's just in India we have not seen enough. Maybe like I would say, proof yet. Yes, of course, there can be a lot of under developing work or like things happening behind the scene. Again, it can be limited to my exposure that I have, but that was just my observation.
Yeah.
I wanted to actually get to like how did you pick your sort of like masters, like once MBBS was done, how did you go about picking your specialization? Because a lot of people might think कि अच्छा किसमें specialize करना है, किसमें क्या करना है. What was the thinking process like?
I guess I remember my past days. We had a MBBS program, and after that program, we have something which is called as 1 year of internship, which is a rotatory program,
Okay.
wherein you are placed clinically in all the departments, medical, surgery, gynec, orthopedic surgery, ENT, all specialties across.
Mhm.
You are posted for a month everywhere, and that is your chance to directly come in touch with that particular department. How does it work, how does it function, and it kind of gives you that edge to decide, compare and decide that this is what I can choose for my future. So
Mhm.
my internship days, which was long back, I was posted in JJ, I clearly remember. So I had already done three postings. So it is called as postings. I was posted in medicines department. I was posted in general surgery department. I was posted in gynec. These three postings were done, and then fourth of mine was orthopedic surgery.
Mhm.
And I had seen a good amount of different specialities. Uh, when I was posted in orthopedic surgery, and since JJ was a government setup, we had emergency days twice a week, and
Okay.
since it was government's own setup, the volumes were, we used to admit like 50, 60 patients every emergency. It was chaos everywhere.
Yeah, JJ would be crazy.
It was crazy. That's only one word, that there
Yeah,
won't be any 1 second that you'll
yeah.
stand and breathe. You will be constantly up and about.
I've
So
even
that was
heard that interns actually just sleep in chairs wherever they find. ऐसा कुछ सोने का भी schedule नहीं होता था. They would
nothing.
just sleep
Because
wherever they find time. It's that crazy for them.
so imagine, Krishna, 50, 60 admissions means the average OPD which comes is around 500, 600 a day. So
हाँ,
it's lot of volume. And after those admissions, as an internee, your role is to make sure that people are getting admitted. They are shifted to wards. They're all primary investigations are done. In orthopedic surgery, you also need, because they have had fractures, they've had some ligament issues, they have had some joint issues. So you're supposed to immobilize everything that they are
yeah,
out of. So I remember I'd seen a ward full of patients who are in a lot of pain, a lot of agony, immobile, all of them bedridden because of either upper limb issues or lower limb issues, because that's what orthopedic surgery is about. And on particular day, we admit them, we immobilize them, we may manage their pain. And suppose, for example, today is our OPD day, tomorrow we do all the investigations, and day after tomorrow they are posted for surgeries. I as an internee, we didn't used to go in the OR field, but we knew that tomorrow is some surgery. This is what I'm talking many years ago. So we knew that tomorrow it's his surgery. When post surgery, day one or day two, we used to take rounds with our attendings. I had specifically seen a overwhelming change in all of them. Suddenly, all these patients are mobile, they are out of pain, they are quite comfortable and happy. And I was just shocked to see that some magic was done. That one particular day, these all are in a lot of pain, terribly living their lives. They are suffering, their family people are suffering, and some intervention just changed their life completely. So I was actually taken aback looking at this transition which happened, and I could see that transition right in front of me. That one day and day two, everything flipped and changed.
Right.
I for people, it was a life changing thing. Not many things in life are life changing. So I
Yeah.
could see that this was a life changing event which I had witnessed. And that particular posting, I realized that I want to be a part of this. I want to learn more about this, and I want to do this. So for me, that was the moment where I decided I would want to be an orthopedic surgeon, and I want to do this for the rest of whatever life I have.
yeah.
And my mate standing there, that this is it, this is my calling. So that is how I decided to become an orthopedic surgeon, and it goes to my internship days.
But life is so simple, right? Unnecessarily, we try and complicate it. Like you got that
Yes.
realization at such an unexpected moment, right? Day to day चल रहा है और click हो गया. Ah, this is my calling. Ah, this is what I want to do. Yeah.
So I guess
Also,
if
in
if
yeah, yeah,
if you
please.
look at everything, most of the things can be simplified, and
Yeah,
they are just at times we are not ready to accept it. So that is why
yeah,
we keep struggling here and there. But if you take
yeah,
a pause and think, it is just decision is already made. You just need to accept it, and it is very simple.
yeah. And then I think India, like because we are now already on the ortho topic, in India, for some reason, I've seen that women, for some reason, than men, have weaker knees, weaker spines. Like towards a later age, they face a lot of these issues, right? Is there, have you seen this as a trend? If yes, why do you think that happens?
So, two reasons which I have clinically seen sense. One is Indian women, we have a tendency to cross our legs and sit a lot. This is in
Hmm.
comparison to the Western population. So
Huh.
we have a tendency right from our childhood, teenage, to cross our legs and sit on ground with folded legs.
Yeah.
So in younger age group, this usually does not cause a lot of trouble. But imagine this, you doing it multiple times, say 50 times a day,
Hmm.
350 times a week, and for all these years. So this causes little micro trauma in your knee, and this presents later in your
Oh,
after as significant changes in your knee joint. And second added reason is Indian have weaker bones. Because bones they have for in orthopedic surgery the saying is if you load your bones they'll remodel and they'll become strong. So the load bearing exercises, the load bearing activities are still less when we compare it to the Western world. So that is why over is all weaker since you have cross-legged and sat on ground for all these years. They have a tendency of getting a lot of knee changes when 50. So
yeah,
these are two reasons I feel women specifically they have a lot of knee issues which we are seeing.
yeah, yeah.
This is actually very counterintuitive to what a lot of people keep saying ki,
Yeah,
cross.
that is what was running in my mind as well. Ki cross sitting is good for health is what a lot of people say.
I say that I would not say that. Yeah, and so cross leg sitting. Eventually, after some time, we restrict people. For example, till 45, they tendency to repair themselves. So till
Mhm.
45, you do activities. There's a good chance that your knees will regenerate and repair itself. After 40, activity level drops down significantly, and then whatever damage has been done, it does not get repaired so easily. So that is why we discourage after 50 people to constantly or repeatedly sit on grounds, climb stairs, and so on and so forth.
I'm sure after listening to this, bunch of people are gonna call up their parents and say कि भाई अब please ऐसे cross leg करके मत
I would
बैठो.
be happy if this can be a source of awareness to people that
Yeah, yeah.
after some age,
You won't
you
believe,
should avoid
like,
few things.
Sorry,
so
Krishna,
when
there's
I'm in
some.
office and I'm sitting on a chair, I still fold my leg. I'm so used to it, right? Like
We have
while
a
growing
tendency.
up.
Exactly. That's what our tendency is. This is our tendency
Yeah,
to
yeah. So अब
and
जब
to.
वो बोल रहे हैं ना, I'm like, oh, I am तो like even on the chair, I'm folding my legs and sitting. Like even in like restaurants, we shamelessly do that. So yeah.
Yeah.
So two things, if
Okay.
our viewers can change, I would like to stress upon again that parents and grandparents avoid a lot of cross-leg sitting, stair climbing as much as they can avoid, and load bearing. Simple 5 kilometer walk is good for your bones.
Hmm.
The
Hmm.
more you put load on your bones, the more they'll remodel.
हाँ.
So at least it has some activity, and a 5 kilometer walk is good enough stress for your bones to remodel and strengthen.
Right.
Makes
I
absolute
think
sense.
doctor, there are like a lot of this new age brands coming, right? Everybody's saying ki you have calcium kami, you have this kami, and there is this so much narrative around bones density. But medically, what is the right way to actually go about this whole thing versus relying on all this, just tablets and stuff like that?
So, what I do in my clinical practice is doing elaborative scans, which help if specifically looking for something. It is easy to put on calcium and vitamin D3 supplements, which are accessible. They do not have any as such side effects. These are supplements. So
Mm-hmm.
easy way out is after 50, any male or female, it is better to put them on calcium vitamin D3 supplements, and you can take those for 10 months out of 12, wherein you give a 2 month break, and then the cycle continues.
Interesting. So I think that can also be applicable because I have seen a lot of my friends in my age group, right, in 20s also, people actually have this extreme joint pains, leg pains. Why is that happening with a lot of people in the early age?
So early age, I would investigate. I would measure your calcium levels. I would measure your vitamin D3 levels if needed, and if your clinical complaints fit in the deficiency, so I would investigate in the form of DEXA scan. So yes, I'm not anti lesser of this, but after
Right.
50, I know that their levels will be down. So I would want to put them on supplements, and it is easier and it is compliant wise okay for patients also to start supplements rather than getting investigations and then putting on the
Yeah.
supplements. So younger people, I would investigate that why this is happening, and elderly, I would like to put them on
I
supplements to
think
help.
one main reason which I have seen in my ecosystem is obesity as well. Like I see a lot of our kids now being obese. Obese is the word. Like I can't even call them fat anymore.
Yeah.
I know. So, thanks to the junk food, the
Yeah.
easy access of junk food, and the
Yeah.
promotion of the same. So,
Yeah.
we are into a Indian pandemic of obesity. We are
Yeah.
already entered that stage. I would not even say that we are entering. We are already entered that stage,
Yeah.
wherein after 10 years we will all see kids
I think we'll
uh,
overtake West easily. I
easily,
think
easily. I would
easy,
say
easy.
very easily.
But
So
doctor, why
there
is
is
it happening
actually
to young kids?
difference.
A
Yes,
lot
you're
of
saying
like,
something.
sorry, I was just saying why it's happening to a lot of young kids. Let's say people like, even in their early years, like let's say from 5 years to 15 years, also we are seeing this issue happening. Is it the same junk food or the lifestyle, or like how
Mhm.
does it sort of happen?
So I'll tell you a very simple example. When I was a kid in my school, I remember my school very clearly. My target was to go home, keep my bag, not even change my uniform, and go in the playground. This
Okay.
was my target. This was, and all of my peers used to do the same, that we dump our bags and we move out. If you see now, the changed, that now they will go home, they would want their screen times, and then whatever activity they have to do, it will be in bargain with the screen, that
Yeah,
if you
100%.
do this, you will do that.
Yeah.
This, as a society, I guess, yeah, we need to change. Yeah.
Yeah, but it makes sense. Krishna, your
Yeah.
question?
I had two last questions. I'm shooting my second last right now. अगर ये नहीं पूछूंगी तो मजा नहीं आएगा. So a lot of medical high-end devices which we need for medtech in today's time. Even today, I was reading a report just because we were going to speak to you. It shows that 75% of these devices are still imported for India. Why do you think that's a trend, right? Like we keep talking about make for India, make from India, manufacturing in India, but does not seem to be that great. Like any big names that you see, right, are not from India. uh, do you see this changing as a trend in the ecosystem?
Yes, research wise, I cannot comment for other specialties because I don't happening. But if it is orthopedic surgery, I've seen that there is a gradual change in last 7 to 10 years, wherein our research wings have upped their game and they are more into research, which we were not previously. So now a lot of time and a lot of energy is spent on research and developing indigenous products, and this has been a quite shift in change in last 7 to 10 years. So we are not got there when we compare to the Western world, but I feel we are becoming closer. That gap is reducing every day.
Yeah.
Fair.
Krishna, I take, or you have one
Yeah,
more?
yeah. Yeah, yeah. ले ले फिर मैं लास्ट लेती हूँ.
Cool. So I had actually two questions. I'm gonna take the one right now. So one is, you have worked with quite a few hospitals by now, right? And also, can
Correct.
you give us the story, like behind the Bombay Surgeons, because it's a very interesting name. And how did you sort of like go about it? And just give us some backstory to that.
So, as I talked, we are three brothers. My elder brother, Dr. Vishal Soni, he's a GI surgeon and specializing in robotic GI surgery. My younger brother, he's a head neck cancer surgeon. And we all three had our educational upbringing, everything in Bombay for good 33, 34 years of our lives. And since it was only our family who had migrated to Mumbai from our village, there was a time when we, as a family, thought that let us move close to our roots, which is in Gujarat and Rajasthan. And as a family, we shifted to Ahmedabad,
Okay.
and we have our own surgical center now, which is called as the Bombay Surgeons. We started working on this. It was a project which we all three had vision for, and it took shape in a nice way. And there came a moment where we all were sitting and we wanted to decide a name for it, that what should we name our center as. So, and we all three have strong opinions about the way things should be. So yes, we had some very pleasant discussions and arguments also. But one thing which we all three agreed on was that we want something which should live with us for rest of our lives, and something which has given us a lot. So these two things we all agreed that this has to be common. And spontaneously, the word which we all three agreed on was Bombay, because we all were educated, raised, everything was from Bombay. So we agreed that it has to be something related to Bombay. And we all three are surgeons, so we made it very simple that why don't we keep it as the Bombay Surgeons.
Yeah.
So that's how the name and the idea behind the Bombay Surgeon was, that we wanted something which has given us a lot, and we want to remember this for our rest of our lives. And we all three are surgeons, so that's why we came put it as the Bombay Surgeons. And one thing which we did not keep, it was maybe on purpose, that if you see Bombay and Mumbai, we have seen the transition. I was in Bombay and then I was in Mumbai as well. So this transition happened in our life. But still, I would say Bombay is an emotion and Mumbai is a city. So we wanted to hold on to that emotion, and that's why we kept it as the Bombay Surgeons.
No, no, I love the whole concept behind the name because
Yeah.
I think this is a very unique name for, like, somebody practicing in the medicine, because we have seen all those, like, different names, but this is the coolest name I have seen so far. So yeah.
So I had
Thank you.
actually got confused the first time when I spoke to him also. No, I was a bit confused. मैं Bombay surgeon पढ़ रही हूँ, and then I'm like, does not seem to be in Mumbai. I was also confused, and then I was like, okay, okay, got it.
So then you realize there has to be a story behind it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
So this is our story.
Uh,
Yeah.
but what I've realized from like two instances which you gave, right? Like all the important decisions of your life, you all have done it at very simple junctures. Like something was happening, and then you picked up, and it just hit because it's very relatable.
Correct.
Like ये देखा internship में कुछ हुआ, and that kind of changed your life's trajectory. You all were just sitting. You've grown up in Bombay, like you said, right? Not Mumbai.
Correct.
That kind of stuck around. So I think simple stories made bigger impacts.
yeah,
Yeah.
So, if you see surgery, the best of the surgeons, they take quick and they take committed decisions.
Yeah.
So it has to be quick and committed decisions. You cannot rethink on it again and again. So it has to be
Yeah.
simple, quick, and committed. If you keep these three
Yeah.
things together, I guess most of our, even this can be replicated in life as well. That if you do this, I guess a lot of questions can be answered in a better way and a simpler way.
yeah.
Makes sense. We can try it.
There's
So
actually,
I had to.
sorry, last Krishna, one point. So there's a very famous guy called Ali Abdal, who's one of the biggest YouTubers in the productivity space, right? So his background is from medicine in UK.
Okay.
He
Okay.
didn't go for the masters or, like, surgery wala part, but he was a doctor. So he gave
Okay.
a very good framework for productivity, which was checklist. So in, like, medicine, there is a very clear checklist of all the surgery in terms of step by step, right? It cannot be like अच्छा पहले ये करते हैं, बाद में ये करते हैं. It's in
Correct.
a similar world in the tech world, right? So we are sort of dealing with so many tasks every day. So if you can make a checklist of step by step thing which you need to do in your own work, it can sort of simplify so much, because
True.
our brains have become, like, so much of information is in there, but we are not able to translate. So that was a good mental model which he sort of shared with the people, that okay, you can think in terms of checklist, like, how a doctor thinks step by step in terms of process. So yeah,
So it is about predictability.
yeah,
Whatever you do, it has to be predictable. And to make it predictable, you'll have to put a system in place which can be replicated again and again and again and again. It is
right,
not dependent on people, but it is a system which works at the end of the day. So
yeah,
it is about putting a system in place, and things will keep on working. The people can change,
Yeah.
the entire faces can change, but a system, if you put it well in place, it doesn't change.
Fair.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, Krishna.
I had two. Yeah, I had two last questions. I'll combine both in same. In India, I think there are 50% seats which are government colleges for MBBS, and 50% are private. Won't touch the government segment, but for private colleges, there's this insane fees which I've seen. I was in fact speaking to the admissions department of one of these private colleges, won't name them. So this gentleman told me कि हाँ हमारा तो fees करोड़ रुपया है, and I just didn't know what to say. Like for a couple of seconds, I was just staring at him. I'm like, crore rupiya hai. And he said, crore rupiya, like 1 crore was nothing. And he's like, yeah, हमारा तो आसानी से भर जाता है seats. In fact, this also is a struggle for students to get. And I was like, wow. How do you think the ROI for such MBBSs come out, right? Because any education that you do, you'll also look for ROI at the end of the day, right? Sure,
And
it's a noble profession, but there has to be a ROI sense to this as well, right?
not just ROI, but how can even somebody who doesn't, let's say, have like that much resources to put in?
So actually, if you see the entire cost which the institution has to bear when one person becomes, it is huge. It's 5.5 years, and when we see say government seats, that means that government is paying you for because you have come in merit, and the amount is I don't know exact calculations, but it is a significant amount. So I would say that when it comes to government, the government is sponsoring everything, and you are just paying nominal. But if the same things have to be replicated in a private institution, the cost go up because then everything has to be taken care of. So I would not comment on exactly how much is the price and things, but for anyone to become a MBBS doctor, to become an MS, to become an MD, there is a lot of training, there is a lot of infrastructure which is needed, and we are lucky that our government is giving us that opportunity, that they are taking care if we come in merit. But if we replicate this in private, because there is a cost which significantly adds up because of the quality which people want the doctors to be. So it makes sense. I don't know the exact fees and structures, but to become a doctor, it is a lot of efforts and a lot of infrastructure which is needed.
Hmm. I think which is also a fair point from the other side of the table, that it's a long commitment for them also, matlab, not just from the students, but also from the
It is.
institutions.
It is.
So we've over jumped our time. One last question, Dr. Krunal. This we want to take it towards more of the human angle of a doctor, right? I think you all have one of the most stressful jobs, if not one the most, right? You are constantly in stress. You're constantly, like you said, right? You can't rethink your decision. In this, how do you maintain your own sanity? How do you make sure that life is different from the profession? How do you kind of space yourself, if I were to ask?
So see, I'll speak for myself. I would not speak for all of it. For me, my work is not my work. It is something which I love to do. So I do not have to go in that work life balance, because this is what I've chosen and this is something which I love to do. So I don't have to transition it when it comes to my life or my work. I don't need to balance it, because I keep on doing something which gives me more energy, and again I put more energy, so it becomes a vicious cycle, that and in a positive way,
But
that whatever.
burnout तो होता होगा, right? In this, even if you're passionate about doing something, burnout तो होता होगा. How do you manage the burnout then? Like, हो रहा होगा, right? Like, I'm assuming हो रहा
I,
होगा.
I, I don't know. I don't know. I do have burnout. So then I take a day off, and I just do nothing. I watch a movie. I watch a series, like I binge watch, and yeah, it works for me. So I don't know. I cannot speak for everyone, but this works for me, because something which definitely is my passion. I'm lucky enough, touch wood, to keep on doing it, and then again it gives me more passion to do it again. So it's a cycle for me.
I think that's a one of the thing with the one thing that you love, right? So मतलब लोग करते रहते हैं and they don't get tired, मतलब. And I think this is the whole secret of a lot of professions.
Figure it out. Love
Yeah,
what you do what you love. So yeah.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
makes
But
sense.
it was wonderful, and I think we learned quite a few new things. And I wish we just had more time, but maybe we'll plan another episode in future, possibly offline or something, where we can
Happy to
actually
do it.
take up a lot of newbies question that we might have, and which will actually help a lot of other people in similar sort of spectrum who don't have much idea on this side of the table. So thanks for doing this.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Happy to be a
Absolute
part
pleasure
of.
hosting you.
Thank
Uh,
you. Thank you. Appreciate all the efforts the entire team has done. I guess I had a word with Krishna a few days ago. I had put a very nice comment in our chat that, I'm sure the name is Small Talks, but it is already big and it will become more huge. So yes, I again say the same statement and I believe it, to be honest. Yes.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. Thanks a lot for doing it.
Yeah.
I really appreciate it. I'm just
Thank
going
you.
to end
Thank
this
you for
meeting. If you have questions for Doctor, please let us know. We will try to get them answered. Yeah.
Yes. No, thank you so much for doing it.
Thank you.
We'll just
Thank
end
you.
the stream.
Have
Uh,
a happy Diwali, everyone. Have a